Hey, how you doing? This is Gina Versa. It's another episode of Speedrun the podcast. Today we're talking Drop from Blumhouse. Just came out, and we have our guest making his triumphant return. He hasn't been on the show for a little while, so it's good to welcome him back. We have IGN's own Carlos Morales. How you doing, Carlos?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, my friend?
Good. I'm doing really well. I'm excited to talk about this movie with you, your thoughts, speedrun it. But for anyone that didn't listen to the previous episode you were on, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I think you said the biggest one already is that yeah, so I write feature pieces for IGN. That's probably my most notable thing about me, or at least what people would know me from.
Yeah.
I also do write novels and screenplays, but trying to get things published and produced is a lot right now.
Don't I know?
No,
Don't I know?
yeah, I think you know that pretty well. But otherwise, I love movies, love video games, all types of narrative art. So yeah, I don't know. I can't think of all that much that's that exciting about me, but I'm glad that you think I'm notable enough to be on the show.
Yeah, no, of course. Of course. Yeah, we big Twitter heads.
Yeah.
We always talk on there. It's always good to see your opinions and everything. Very glad. If anyone has watched a video essay on IGN or on their YouTube, it might have been yours too.
Yeah, no, we've had several different pieces that I wrote the scripts for the videos that have gone up. So yeah, we've had quite a few of those, and hopefully more later this year coming up. So yeah, it's really nice to be, a contributor for such a big platform, right? Because IGN's one of the biggest entertainment media platforms in existence. So um, I at least know my stuff is getting seen by a
Yeah.
decent audience.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think so. Yeah. There was some recently that I really enjoyed. I think you did a Doctor Doom one, right?
Yeah, I've done multiple pieces about Doctor Doom. He's like people who know me know that he's like my favorite Marvel character, and so like
Yeah.
obviously Doom is topical right now because they're starting production on Avengers Doomsday. Um, so I've done pieces about him as a character and like things about him from the comics and like what they might pull from stuff like that. So
Yeah. No, very, very, very good essays. I always enjoy them. So
thank
yeah.
you.
No, of course, of course. But yeah, before we start, Blumhouse, this is another film of theirs. It's from Christopher Landon. Are you like a Blumhouse fan by any chance?
I mean, I've liked a lot of the movies that they've made. I don't know
Hmm.
if I would call myself a fan of any particular production label, but
Yeah,
I've enjoyed a few of their movies. Yeah,
yeah,
I like horror films, and they're making lots of them. So yeah,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's sometimes a little hit or miss, but they have some really fun hits too. Yeah, and I believe you enjoyed this movie too, right?
yes, I did. Yeah, this
Okay,
was a fun one.
awesome. Yeah, no, they're great. But yeah, Carlos, if there isn't anything else to say, I could start the timer and speed around these topics with you.
Okay.
Awesome. So if anyone hasn't seen this before, Carlos will have 10 minutes to kind of get through all these topics with me. We're gonna be asking you questions and yeah, you kind of have the list and everything. So it'll be 10 minutes on the timer, and then I'll let you know when the timer goes off too.
Okay.
Cool. And we are starting now. All right. What's the first Blumhouse movie you remember watching?
Paranormal Activity 3 in the theater.
Awesome. Awesome. The what are your thoughts on Christopher Landon's movies, his other filmography? Curious.
I remember enjoying the Happy Death Days, which I think he did both of those,
He
right?
did both,
Yeah.
and Happy
I
Death
saw.
Day 3.
Is that happening?
Yeah, they said that's happening.
Oh, okay, okay. And I remember being kind of mixed on, I think Freaky was the other one of his that I've seen, but I liked this one. So pretty good batting average of the movies I've seen.
Yeah, no, definitely he has some bangers, but yeah, he did do Freaky. I love Freaky a lot. Um, and now he did Drop. And it's kind of evident about this. Their original movies, and ideas he and his team have made so far, just like your thought on him actually getting original movies made.
It's a good thing. We need more original horror films. Like I love some of the long-running franchises, but it's important to have original horror coming out in the theatrical space. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that he's doing that.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's a good standard to keep up because yeah, all the IPs are, you know, a lot. Yeah. And then it had a really good trailer. Any expectations you had just based on that trailer when it
I
came
try
out?
not to put too much expectations based on trailers, but just from seeing it, I knew it was a premise that was like it's a solid premise, and I was like, that'll probably be a good time at the theater. And I went to go see it at the theater, and it was a good time. So expectations met.
There you go. That's always enjoy that. Always enjoy that. And then what did you think of the film's tone? Because this is a little bit more serious than some of his other films, which were kind of more comedy, freaky. Had some really gruesome kills, but it's really comedic too. Did you want to see more humor or more suspense? Just
I
curious.
think the tone was right for this film. I think trying to shove in a little bit too much of like the Happy Death Day or freaky type humor probably wouldn't have been right when like what the main character has gone through with her backstory and also like her son being in jeopardy the whole time. I don't think too much comedy would have helped. So I think that it had the right feel for the tone and the suspense worked for, I would say, for the most part.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I agree. It was a good like juggling act, I think, because there's a little bit of humor, but I just enjoyed, just having this kind of be like a nail biter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, what was the most nail biting scene for you?
So this is spoilers. We can talk
Yeah,
spoilers
we
here.
could totally go into
Okay.
spoilers.
Her sitting down with Reed Diamond once it's revealed that that's who it is the person who's been airdropping, them sitting together. And I think the tension between the two, like both the lead actress and him were doing really well there. And like I liked that scene a lot.
Yeah, no, that's that scene. Yeah, it adds a lot of tension to the story and everything, and you really want her to get away. So it's really good tension builder there too. Is there anything that didn't work for you in this movie?
It's not so much didn't work so much as I think something that would have helped it is if there was a greater sense of the actual dynamic between the main character and the love interest. It's not that they had a bad dynamic so much as because the whole movie is basically her trying to figure out how to get out of the situation, their chemistry is not really rooted in character that much.
Hmm.
Like, what does he provide besides being hot and supportive that she needs? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get the best sense of what their relationship would be like after this situation is over.
Mm,
So I think something like that would have helped the character, like the fact that they do get together at the end, helped it feel a bit more of like a substantive change and
hmm.
something we want to see happen outside of her surviving the situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, yeah, there wasn't a lot of building there, I would say too. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty fair. That's good criticism, I would say. Yeah, something, yeah, that didn't work for me. And then kind of changing gears here, where would you like to see Christopher Landon go next in his films? Or because I broke to you the news Happy Death Day 3, would you want to see that or another Freaky?
I'll watch Happy Death Day 3, but so much. I think I like the idea of him doing more movies like this where it's something like a new premise,
Hmm.
not something that we've seen before because he's clearly got strong directorial talent. Like he knows how to build movies like this. So I'd like to see him do some more new things after
Yeah,
he does Happy Death Day 3.
yeah, we need that trilogy. We need the third one.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then yeah, I'd love to see him do like a different sort of film too. Yeah, do something like an original idea. and you could get it made too, because I think this movie was fairly successful. So yeah. All right, and then off topic here. What's your go-to order at a fancy restaurant? Say we're at any restaurant. What do you go with?
Chicken fingers.
Chicken fingers? That's your go-to. Any reason why?
It's really hard to screw up.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I don't know anyone that would screw up chicken fingers. Maybe McDonald's. I don't know. And then thoughts on the final act.
I mean, it mostly did its job. I really like the payoff with the little remote control truck that had the gun on it.
Mhm.
That actually got like some cheers and claps in the theater, and I think that was a really solid payoff.
Yeah, that
Really well done setting that up at the beginning of the movie.
yeah, that kid was good at murder.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then would you rewatch this film again?
I could see myself watching it maybe, yeah, one more time just as like a fun thing. Like I'm not sure if it's a movie that has like, oh, I have to rewatch this like yearly or something like that. It's nothing like that, but it's a pretty fun time. So yeah, I'd watch it again, maybe with a friend who hadn't seen it before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll see it with you. And with that, you managed to get through all the 12 questions in
I
7
think
minutes.
you skipped one. What would you do if you got a mysterious drop on your
Oh,
phone?
sorry. Okay, okay, you didn't. Yeah. What would you do if you got a mysterious drop on your phone? And then you have 3 minutes.
I would type something back really nasty
Oh, okay.
and be like, I try to scare, if they're trying to scare me, I try to scare them back.
That's a good answer. That's a very
Yeah.
good answer. Me too.
Mhm.
There's too many grifters. And congrats, Carlos. You made it with yeah, 3 minutes. You did this in like I think that's a record. So congrats.
I'm really pleased I was able to knock all those out and still give actual answers.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? That's yeah, you made like a record. So congratulations. How does it feel? I don't you could get a no prize award.
I'll take a no prize as a longtime Marvel comics fan. I will take a no prize for
Yeah.
sure.
If anyone doesn't know, no prize was a sort of an award, a letter that you would get by pointing out a continuity error, I think, in the Marvel.
Yeah, like if there was any kind of problem either with continuity or if it's like an error in like the artwork or something that was like a noticeable error on the part of the creators in a Marvel comic, if you pointed it out in a letter, they would say you get a no prize, which means you don't get anything, but just the recognition of having pointed out an actual error.
Yeah. And then, it's probably worth like thousands now. Yeah. Original Stanley,
No
signature.
prize.
Yeah, signature or something. But yeah, no, this was really cool, man. Yeah, congrats on winning. Yeah, only two people so far have made it all the way through. You and my other friend Jordan. So
Oh, well,
congratulations.
I'm glad to be in such esteemed company.
Yeah, no. And then yeah, Drop too. Yeah, it was great film. Any other final thoughts on Drop before whatever?
Just that I think movies like Drop are it's really important that movies like this are coming out theatrically on the regular, like just sort of
Yeah.
like again, nothing that's going to change your life, but
No.
really
No.
solid either horror, thriller, or genre pieces where you've got good actors with a good premise, solid direction. It's just movies like that are what keep the theatrical experience alive outside of the big blockbusters.
Hmm.
And so I'm glad to see movies like this coming out, getting good reviews, doing well, audiences are receptive to it. And it's the type of movie that we need a lot more of. So it was a good time at the movies, and I'm excited to see what everyone involved in it does next.
Yeah, same. Yeah. We'll definitely have to see what other kind of film they'll come up with. But yeah, it was a good note to end on. Yeah. And then Carlos, any like promotions, anything you want to social media for people to follow you, anything you want to promote, anything they could
Yeah, so
watch?
on the old Twitter, I'm at Carlos Alonso M. Um, it is mostly me tweeting like movie stuff, video game stuff,
Mass
about my
Effect.
articles. Mass, yeah,
Yeah.
I call myself the Mass Effect scholar,
Mm.
just because of my encyclopedic knowledge of that particular franchise. But yeah, just yeah, I don't know if I tweet anything all that exceptional, but if
Yeah,
if you want to know more about my thoughts on yeah, like media in general, and also follow my IGN pieces, follow me on Twitter.
yeah, I'll put a link in the description.
Thanks.
But yeah, give them a follow. Yeah, we have some good takes, some funny ones, some hot
So, I have
ones.
some hot takes. I have some hot takes sometimes, and people are like, What are you talking about?" But it's they're all sincere. They're
Yes,
all me.
there you go. Of course. Yeah, man. Thanks for being on the show and congrats again. Yeah, the listeners, please be sure to follow Carlos and then follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Waffle Press Podcast, on Instagram at the Waffle Press on Twitter, or on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, and if like something, even if you don't like it anyway. Um, Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We've been professionally unprofessional.